Hi and welcome back to First Days with Johanna. This is first day, the first day of March, and that is kind of a almost holiday in a part of Sweden called Småland, because it sounds really funny when they say it because they can't say the letter R. So yeah, they have done a thing out of it and they eat this marzipan cake, because in marzipan there's also a R in Swedish. So yeah, that was a small trivia about Sweden. This is a knitting show, so we will most talk about knitting, but before we go into that, there is a very serious matter that I really feel that I need to bring up, and that is the invasion that Russia did into Ukraine. And I really, really, really feel worried, and it's a kind of worry that digs into me. It's in all my body, it's in all my being, and it's hard to concentrate, and really taking a lot of joy out of everything. But I'm not the one to just sit around and not do anything. I feel like I have to do something. I need to do something to relieve myself a little bit from worry, because that is one of the things that happen when you actually do something, but also do something to help the very innocent people that gets, I mean, someone comes and destroys your home, takes your life, even if you're still alive, then all of your life is gone, because you have to escape and you have to go away, and the kids are without any form of safety and any form of routine, and it breaks my heart. I don't know how to. I mean, how many times have I thought about this, and how many times have I kind of gone through it in my head, and I still can't imagine how they are feeling and how this immense panic must be, and the anxiety, and I can't. So I try to figure out a way to help and to actually do something. And one of the ways right now is that I'm doing this donation where the scouts in our local scouts corps in Hög, they are working together with some scouts in Poland, in Chelm, where there is a lot of refugees. So they are arranging not one but two trucks to be driven down to Chelm to have things with them that needs to be distributed down in Poland. And since it's still very cold, it's very, very cold during all nights, and it's below zero, so below freezing for many of the nights as well. I figure that knitted items will be a very good thing to have on that truck. So if you feel like you have some knitted items that you want to donate but don't really know how to do, then please send them to me. I will add my address in the comments below, or in the description below. I can add them in the comments as well, because that is an easy way to find them, I realized, because you can't always see the description. So send them to me and I will make sure that they get on that truck if I have the knits before Wednesday. Before Wednesday. So you need to send them this weekend so that I can get them. And this will be a really big help and really appreciated from the scouts. And this is a non-profit organization, so everything that we give them will be delivered to the refugees in Chelm, Poland. So nothing goes away, nothing gets sold, everything gets delivered, 100%. They have also gathered like sanitized things and shower creams and shampoo and dog food, because that is also real. You don't want to go away without your pets in any way. And they have now more and more focused on the kids, because the kids are really suffering in this time. And that is also why that if you have some kids sweaters or mittens or something, please send them, because there are a lot of kids that needs more help than I feel that anyone can give them right now. They, most of all, they want to feel safe, and that is really a hard thing at the moment. Oh, I'm tearing up. It's undescribable. I don't know how. I really feel with all of them, and I hope this madness can end, and I really hope that it won't spread across Europe. That is my worst fear at the moment. And I know you shouldn't be focused on your fears, because then they tend to happen, so you need to focus on some other things. And with all of that said, I'm going to move on to knitting, because that is at least some place where I feel a little bit safer, and that I actually can calm my mind down a little bit, because it's not 100%, but it calms me down a little bit at the moment. So yeah, we go in to talk about knitting, I think. What have I been working on since last week we met? Because last week was like the winter holiday here, so the kids were both home, and yeah, I didn't make it to recording. And this week we actually have a stomach bug going around the house, and yeah, so it's been a crunch for time, but I hope it will be published this afternoon, so you actually can see it. Now, knitting. What I have been knitting on since last time we met? Well, I think I just had this casted on. This is my very big swatch for my next lace shawl. So this took me many hours to knit, and it's actually almost a small shawl in itself, but it's a little bit short, so you can't really, yeah, you can have it over your shoulders like this, but it's too short, so it slips down very easily. My daughter kind of could wear it, so that's a good thing. And yeah, this is the sample that I knit, and now the pattern is sent out to several testers, and they're hopefully knitting away. I know some of them ordered some yarn, and we'll be knitting in this lace yarn. Maybe not this green color, because I think this is a very old colorway that I had in my stash, so I knitted the first swatch in a very old colorway. But I casted on my next one, and that will be, this shawl will be in two versions, one small and one large. And the smaller version is bigger than this, so this is a bit too small still. So here's my swatch. Next size, or the first size in the pattern, will be bigger than my swatch. But I've casted on the big size from the pattern. And this construction is a bottom-up triangular square. So you start with casting on a whole lot of stitches around here, and then you do decreases all the way up. So you end up with 13 stitches at the end, and then you graft them together. So you have the most time-consuming rows in the beginning of the project, which can be both a blessing and something that you really need to sit down and knit through the first couple of rounds, so you actually start to decrease the numbers. And here's it's not much to show. It's this big ruffle at the moment. There are a lot of stitches on here, and I only done like 6 or 7 rows. So not much to show. It will be this nice scalloped edge, and it will be even more scalloped once blocked. So it will go down a little bit more. And this project, I'm working on a set of wooden circular needles. This is the Lykke needles. I really like the needles, the wood needles for lace projects, especially if the wood has a little bit more grip than the metal ones, so the stitches won't slip off that easy. But I don't like the cable on this one because it's a little bit too stiff, so it's not behaving the way I want the cables to behave. But hey, that's life. Can't get everything at the first try, so I'm sticking to these needles. And yeah, it's a very short needle as well. I think it's maybe only 60 centimeters. It doesn't really say. It just says 3.25 millimeter. So yeah, I'm slowly adding on some rows so that I can have a bigger shawl to show you after a while. And yeah, I think you're gonna see some shawls from my test knitters as well, because they are on the move. This shawl that I'm working on, it's in Skew Fin, the colorway Silver, which is this pale gray. It's really, really silver. It's a colorway I really like to be working on with, and especially for this kind of delicate lace shawl. So it's a dog out there that wants to come in, but I think she's okay with sitting out there. This project is really good if you want to be working on something that needs your full attention, because a lace project is always like that. You have to work your way slowly across so you know that you have all stitches and they are in the right place. But that is something that I require at the moment, and I'm happy that I have this to work on. Then I have brought 3 more projects actually. This is still my long-term sock project. I have put in a couple more rows since last. I'm actually done about half of the gusset now, so maybe it will be finished soon. From down here up to here. Slowly working away, don't want to feel pressure. They will be worn, 100% guaranteed, they will be worn when I'm done. Here's the second sock, and that's already done. It's worked from top down with a strong heel and a wedge toe. And all of it is worked from my measurements, and yeah. I really like this colorway too. This colorway is the Cosmic Girl from Wool Kitchen. And I saw that she released a couple of new colorways, and I kind of want to buy them all. So we will see if I manage to restrain myself, or if I have a yarn order coming from the UK soon. We will see. We will see. That is kind of a sad thing about all of this Brexit and stuff, that you can't really order from the UK as you did before, because there will be some customs on it and everything. But that's the way it is, and I still want to buy yarn. Okay, so now I have 2 more projects. I have this advent blanket that I have been working on for a really long time, but last time you saw it, it was in separate squares, and now they are all joined together. And let's see if I could do a small collage up here for when I actually piece them together. And I'm slowly working on the border. So After I done everything, I saw that one square is not blocked. But I joined it in anyway because I want to soak and block the blanket out again after I'm done with the border. So I figured it will be okay. But I have one square that is not blocked. So here we have it. My really big blanket, okay? I don't know how to show you this. It's going like this. And the top one at the bottom. Like that. So I've added the border on 1, 2, and a little bit on the third square. So I'm almost at the corner, and then I have 4 squares going down before I'm done. And this is a perfect project when you don't know how much knitting time you have, because it's only 12 stitches going back and forth and back and forth. So I mean, 12 stitches you can squeeze in before you need to do something, most of the time at least. And sometimes you get 5 minutes when sitting down with my daughter, and then I managed to do a few rounds on it. But this is all of my blankets, and it will be cozy. My daughter actually snuggle under it while I worked on it this morning. She had some blueberry soup on her face, but here she is under the blanket, and yeah, it was kind of cozy sitting there and snuggling together while I worked on the blanket. The blanket is called Wintertime, and it was my advent calendar project from last year. And I'm slowly beginning to thinking about advent calendars for this year. And I need to come up with a pattern ID so I can design everything around that. But as I said before, then my mind is not really working at the moment. So I will focus on the lace shawl at this point of time and slowly adding on more and more things. Then I have one more knitting project to show you that I actually have with me. And then we have a finished object that I don't have with me, but let's talk about that in a little while. So that was the zipper, and here's the thing that I want to talk with you about. This is the Comfort Zone sweater. That was a test knit for Aneta over at Knitting Adventures, and it was supposed to be finished, but it's not. That's the way life is sometimes, and yeah, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself for it. Life happens, and maybe you shouldn't test knit a big garment when you have a small kid that is home a lot and being sick. So that's the way it is. I still really enjoy this, and I really enjoy working on it, and I managed to knit a little bit on it. I knitted from here on the back down, and I managed to join both front and back. So I have put a few more rounds on it, working around, and then I divided it onto 2 separate needles so I can try it out, and then I work the color. The color is a little bit looser fabric, so you need to actually be quite mindful about picking small needles and work it at a tight gauge so that it sits nicely when you have it on. Let's see if I can put this on even if it's a little bit hot in here at the moment. And most curious if I can get it off later on. We will see. So here it is on me. I really like how it will sit and how it fits, and like the structure and the feel of it. And hopefully I won't get allergies from it, but in that case it will go to someone else. It's a really, really warm sweater. It would be perfect to have outside now with just the vest, like this down vest or something like that over. But yeah, I need to put in some more knitting before it's done. I need sleeves and I need a longer body, I think. But it's so nice, and you can find the pattern. It's out right now, so the link is down below. Go and buy it from Aneta. It's a wonderful pattern, and she has put in a lot of thoughtful designs and tips and tricks in it. So thank you so much, Aneta, for letting me test knit. It was a pleasure, and I'm so sorry I failed. This sweater is knit out of skew yarns. It's knit out of skew yarn number 3 in the colorway Sand, and skew yarn Fluff in the neutral gray. So here we have Sand and neutral gray. And these two together combined makes this fluffy goodness over here. And then I have one more finished object. I don't think it was finished the last time we spoke. So, but I only have a picture of it because that was the sweater for my son. And he wore that sweater every day this week to school. So I guess it was a good fit. And he's happy about it. So that's a really good thing. This sweater is called Mix It sweater, and that was also a test knit from Janie's Knittery. At the moment, this child version is released, so you can go buy that pattern too. The link's down below. So go and check it out. All testers did a wonderful job of putting together colors and mixing them together, and there will be an adult version coming out really soon too. So I was thinking about knitting this for my husband, but since I failed on one of my other test knits, I don't want to add one more in the mix. So now I'm taking a deep breath, and I'm kind of thinking that I'm test knitting myself at the moment before I can add on any more test knits. But test knitting is a really good thing to learn more about how to construct a pattern or how other designers are working. And that's always interesting. That was it for the knitting. And yeah, I don't want to keep you any longer from all of your other things going on in life. Or if you have more knitting time, then have a look at some old episodes, or if you have the time, then please go find some knits that you can send so we can help some people feel warmer and feel that someone have made something for them. You will find all the information down below, and my address is also in the comments so that it will be easy for you to find if you have some knits to donate for or to our local scout crops. And all of it will be sent out to Chelm in Poland, where other scouts will distribute it to the refugees from Ukraine. Thank you for watching, and happy knitting! Bye!